Hello everyone, welcome to the day two. Today we are going to learn what is Git. Uh, we are going to learn some quite history and what are the features of a Git. Apart from that, we'll make our first commit in today's video as a part of our practical session. So let's get back to the screen and I will tell you what are the basics and everything we all need, right? So Git stands for Global Infrastructure Tracker. So as we learn in yesterday's class that Git stands for version control system, right? Git is a software basically which used to track the versions of file and applications, right? So it follows the distributed version control system. Like it includes local repositories and remote repositories. So file being stored in a local repository as well in a remote repository. So Git is used to manage and track the changes made in a source code. So it is used to manage and track the changes within a source code. If you need our source code back from last day, what we do, we can do that. Okay. So what is the history of the Git? So Linus Torvalds, as we all know, the founder of Linux, using tool called the Bitkeeper. Okay, so before in a time they were used to uh, work on a Bitkeeper. It was used to manage the track the source code, right? Just like Git. But the problem is that Bitkeeper is not a free and open source, so no one can use it. We have to pay for that, and source code is also not available. Okay, so in 2005 he introduced Git, which was totally free to use and open source software. So what is meant by open source? So open source means the source code is available to manipulate within GitHub repository. So if you wanna do any open source contribution to a source code, we can do that. So Linux is also open source software, you all know. So we can manipulate the whole infrastructure. We can manipulate the whole code. Okay. So what are the features? It is free and open source. Okay, so it is used to change the source code. uh, we want to change the source code, we can do that. It is used to support a collaboration. So if we have to collaborate with our team, we can do that using Git. So operations such as branching, merging and faster compared to the version control systems. So by using Git, merging and branching is much compatible with this software. So this is the features that all Git contains, and we'll move forward. So I'll be explaining you the working stages of Git. Okay. So for example, we want to check the versions, do my version control system. So we will make a folder. Okay. Here we have one file name a.txt. It's a text-based application file basically. So we have in a folder. So file is present inside working directory. So I will explaining you what is working directory, what are the staging areas and local repository. So just understand the basic workflow. The folder contains a file. The file, we manipulate it within a working directory. So if you want to do any changes in a file, we can do it in a working directory. Okay. So after manipulation or after any source code change, we move forward and file being pushed to the staging area. So staging area, okay, where the temporary file storage is present. But means if you want to store our file in a temporary stage, we can do that in a staging area. Okay, so then our we have confirmation that the file is good. So we'll move forward and forward the file in a local repository. Okay, so local repository is a permanent storage within our machine. As we all see, local repository mean a permanent storage within our local machine, within your laptop. So for example, this is a one example. We have sheets. Okay, we have multiple sheets. We work on that, we write something on a sheet. To store them in temporary, we put them in a cupboard. Okay, in our cupboard. Okay, then if you wanna store it permanently, we have to bind it, we have to forward it forward, right? If you want to send it those sheets to another city, for my father, to my father, so we'll bind it and bind the sheet permanently. Okay, we'll check that and bind it permanently. So what is working directory basically? So working directory means place where we work, create, modify, file or perform read write operation. So if you want to manipulate our file, we can do that in a working directory. Okay, so in staging area, place where keep file for a temporary period before committing. So this is a committing step. we will committing the changes that we are made in a temporary file are permanent. Okay, so in staging area we'll store the file temporary. Okay, if you want to manipulate that again, we can do that. Okay, in a local repository, this is a place where we save a file versions permanently in a local machine. So what is local machine? So local machine is nothing but our laptop. Okay, so we'll store that file permanently within our local machines. Okay, so this is a basic working stages of a Git. Uh, in the next stage, we will see the workflow of a Git. Okay, so first stage of a Git workflow is Git initialization. So for example, we have folder, we have file inside this, and to move them from a particular local repository to a remote repository, we have workflow. So first workflow stage is initializing the Git. So what initialization do? So initialization do it converts the folder into a Git folder. So what is Git folder basically? So Git folder contains a .git file. So what is .git file? So where the folder get divides into three parts. Okay, as we seen right now. So by using initialization, we convert the file. Sorry, we convert the folder into a file into a three subparts. So first part is working directory, second part is staging area, and third part is local repository. So file moves from one stage to another stage as we go on in the workflow. So okay, so just understand initialization. What initialization do? It will convert the normal folder into a Git folder. Okay, so where .git folder is .git file is present. So nothing. Okay, so what is second stage? So second stage is configuration. We'll configure who is doing the changes, who is doing what. Okay, so as we all know, Git has a tracking system also. So we here we configure, if I am doing the changes, I will give my name, I will give my name, I will give my email here. Okay, so this step is just configuring who is using and what changes he is doing. Okay, so after second stage, so we have file, we do the modification whatever we want, we will change the source code, we'll write something, and in third stage we will move that file into a staging area. So third stage is nothing but the adding. So we add the file from working directory to the staging area for a temporary storage. Okay, okay, so now the file is in temporary storage, which means in staging area. So we'll move that file to from a staging area to a commit stage by using commit message. So what we are doing in a local repository, we are permanently storing the changes into a local repository, right? So now we have that confirmation that file is okay, and whatever changes we want to do, we did it. Okay, so now we'll move the file from a staging area to a local repository for further steps. Okay, so fourth stage is committing those changes to they are permanent. Okay, so for, what is the fifth stage? We'll establish the connection between our local repository and remote server. Okay, so what is remote server? This is nothing but the remote server where team collaboration may happen, just like a GitHub. We all know GitHub. GitHub is a remote server where we create our repository, and we are going to establish the connection between both of them. Okay, so uh, after committing, we established the connection. Now the changes whatever do with the file, we did with the file is in a local repository, right? So if you want to push back those changes to a remote repository, we use some concept called push. We'll push those changes to the remote repository. Okay, so now the file one version of the file is in local repository and remote repository as well. So if you or another guy within our organization wants to manipulate that code or work on that project, so he or she will take back those changes by using seventh stage, that is pull. Okay, so this is a basic workflow where from Git folder to remote repository, whatever happens are the workflow stages, like initialization, configuration. What initialization do? It will convert the normal folder into a Git folder where folder is divided into subfolders like called working directory, staging area, or local repository. Second step is configuration. We'll configure who is making the changes by using giving a name and email. Then we'll add the file into a staging area. And fourth, we commit those changes to a permanent, that is in local repository. We'll establish a connection with a remote repository and push those changes to a remote repository. If you and seventhly, at a last, if you want to manipulate the code or work on the code, we'll pull those changes into our working directory to do some changes. Okay, so this is the basic workflow. Let's move on to the practical part. I will be explaining you the command by command I have written here. So whatever happened with the folder, whatever happened with the file, so till commit, I'm going to explain you within terminal. So let's get back to the terminal. I'm current in a my folder. So let me show you the folder. Uh, for that we use pwd command. Pwd command, as you all know, it is shows present working directory. So I'm inside my Git folder, Git demo folder. So where I'm going to do those operations. So okay. So let me clear the screen. So I'm in my Git demo folder. Now I wanna there is nothing like ls. I will do ls. There is nothing. Okay. If you want to, let's make one file and we'll initialize the folder first. Okay. So for that there is nothing. We make one file. Okay. So let me show or first we initialize. Okay. So for that we use command that is nothing but the git init. Okay. So git init. This command, what did this command do? This will convert the normal folder into a Git folder. Okay. Uh, it will create a .git file. It is hidden. So ls -a if I do, oh sorry. See, there is .git folder. It will create a .git folder within our empty folder. Okay. So let me clear the screen. Okay. Secondly, we have configurations. Okay. So here, what we do, here we configure who is doing the changes. Okay. For that, we have command called git config hyphen hyphen global. If you give, it will take a global name. But if you want to give your own name, so here we have to pass the alias, that is username dot name. And if you want to pass like for example my name, yes. Okay. So it will take a username. Same way we'll do the email, for example demo email. Yes, it will take the configuration. Okay. So now name and your username will be passed. So if you want to check which is a user, so we'll hit the command git config username. Does not contain section X. Okay. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Now, okay, after configuration, let's create one file and add this into now we are creating a file in a working directory. Okay, so for that we use command touch. Okay, touch for command is used to create a files. Okay, so we'll go at a.txt for example. Okay, so now the file is created. Okay, file is here. Now we want to we are in a working directory. We are doing the changes in a file. For example, I will do the changes nano a.txt. Let me write here. This is demo practical session. Okay. Uh, okay. Control S, Control X. Okay, it will do the changes and we have modified the file in a working directory. Now we will move the file to a staging area. For that we use a command. uh, Now we are in a staging area. Now we are going to move the file in a staging area. So for that we use command git add dot. What dot have git add dot? What is this dot for? We specify the file name, or we can use a dot for all folders. For all the file within this particular folder. So there is only one file. If you want to specify, there are multiple file. If you want to specify for example, a.txt, we'll do that. Okay. For now, we'll use dot because there is nothing. Only one file. So by using this command, what happened? The git inside this folder there is one file. This file is moved from working directory to uh, staging area. Okay, so we'll check the status. For example, then we use a command called to check the status. We use command called git status. Okay, this will show a new file is on staging area. It is in green, a.txt. It is on not yet committed. Okay, so this file is not yet committed. It is in staging area currently. If you want to do any changes in a file, you can do that and again add it into staging area. It means the changes whatever you do is gonna reflect in a file. Okay, so in the middle we have file in a staging area. Okay, then now file is in staging area. We want to move the now with we have confidence that file is okay and uh, ready to move from staging area to committing, like in a local repository. For that we use command. Okay, to move file from working directory to a local repository. So for that we use command git commit -m. Okay, here we write one message. Okay, so while working in an organization, we are making changes. Developer are making the changes. So they before committing the changes, they write one message like for update. There is one feature update, for example. So they will list out what feature update is this, and they will commit the changes from their own staging area to local repositories. Okay, so I will write this is update. Okay, one. Okay, and if you want to specify any file name, if you want to commit any specified file name, if there is a multiple file, for example, I have a.txt, right? So if you want to specify only to commit that a.txt file, you can do that. Okay, here we have to specify that a.txt. Okay, if you have any, or if you have multiple files, or else you can do that. That's it. That a command only. So for this, using this command, every file is going to commit on a local repository. So I will do that. Okay, so as you see, the main root commit, this is commit id, this is a update one. So file one change and file one insertion. Okay, so a.txt has this commit id, and we'll check the logs for the changes whatever do, and we'll now check the status. Okay, so we'll check the status. So there is no commit message is present. Nothing is commit. Nothing is working directory is clean. Nothing is there to commit. Okay. So now file is moved from our staging area to local repository. Okay. So till now that's it for the video. We'll see how to establish a connection between local repository and remote server in the next video, and for other steps also.